taking a look at the 2 to 8 player game Cover Your Kingdom from Grandpa Beck's Games. In Cover Your Kingdom, you are a ruler of a kingdom. However, it's empty of inhabitants, and it's your job to try to attract magical creatures to come and live in your kingdom. These are all of the contents of the game, except for one other thing. These little tokens here, which we are going to leave in the box for now. They can be added to the game to increase the complexity a little bit, but we're not going to talk about that today. So what we're going to do to set up is we're going to give each player one of these player mats. These are functionally all the same, although they do have different names and some different flavor text here at the bottom. And there's some kind of fun names in here. This one is Smogdor, we have Yarnia, Scamelot, and there are several more as well. So we're going to hand out these player aids to each player in the game. So we're going to go ahead and pass those around. I'm going to put the remainders back in the box. These are double-sided, but again, we are going to just play with the simple version of the game. So we're just going to start with this side here for today's game. We're also going to give each player a player aid. And again, these are double-sided so that we can mix things up just a little bit. And if we wanted to play with these on this side here, it would just grant each player a unique ability or something that they could do on their turn or throughout the game that only they would be able to do. Again, we're just going to play with the basic version today, so we're going to leave that on this player aid side here and return all the rest of the player aids to the box. We're going to give this really neat 3-dimensional crown to our first player. And since that's me today, I'm going to go ahead and set this over here. And then finally, we are going to deal 6 of these creature cards to each player. So let me get 6 of these. All right. So what's going to happen now is we're going to go ahead and start the game. We do need enough space for each player to build up on their player mat, and then for us to have 2 different discard piles here, 2 different discard piles here. All right, so normally you keep your hand hidden, but I'm going to go ahead and show you my cards here so we can talk about them. These are all the different types of creatures we might see in the deck. All of the cards in the deck are creature cards, but there are 3 different kinds of creature cards. So we have clanning creatures, which are these ones that have the colored gems in the upper left-hand corner. That is the most frequently occurring type of card in the deck. There are also wild creatures, which have a multicolored gem in the upper left-hand corner of the deck. And finally, there are free creatures, which don't have a gem, instead they have a symbol of some kind or another. So these are all the different types of creatures that we might see in the deck. And the way that the game is played is that we are going to try to attract these different creatures to our kingdom in order to fill up our kingdom with the most magic. And at the end of the game, which is when a deck of cards runs out, and then we've played all of the cards we possibly can, whoever has the most magic in their kingdom wins the game. The magic that our kingdom generates comes from these different gems that all of our creatures have. So if we have creatures in our kingdom, the amount of magic in these gems here is the amount of points that we get at the end of the game. All right, so on my turn, I can do a couple different things. I can attempt to form a clan. So if I do that, I have to have 2 matching cards in my hand. Let's just flip through the deck here till I can, oh, here we go. Here's some right here. All right, so let's pretend that in my hand, I had some creatures whose type matched. So these are 2 Braggin cards. You'll note that they're both 15-point creatures. So these are clanning creatures who match each other. So this is a clan that would like to come and live somewhere in my kingdom. Now, each kingdom is comprised of 2 different areas. We have the highlands and the lowlands here. And a lot of creatures have a specific type of land that they would like to live in. So for example, the Braggins like to live in the mountains. So if I had a pair of Braggins, I could on my turn attempt to form a clan. So I would do that by playing exactly 2 matching creatures to the land type where they would like to live. So I put these 2 Braggins in the highlands, and that would be one of the 2 possible actions I could do on my turn. On my turn, I can do exactly 1 or 2 actions, and the second action is optional. I don't have to if I don't want to, but I can if I'd like, and it can be the same action that I've previously performed, or it could be a new action. So I could form another clan if I wanted to, in which case I would place that either in the lowlands, or I would place it in the highlands this way. So we had placed the first clan this way, we're going to place the second clan this way. And that's where the name of the game comes from, Cover Your Kingdom, because we are covering the creatures we've already placed in that kingdom. And that is important because one of the other things that players can do on their turn is attempt to steal creatures away from your kingdom and lure them to their own kingdom. And I'll talk about that in just a few minutes. So I can form a clan by playing a pair of creatures to one of my lands here. I can also always add a matching creature of the same type to the topmost clan in my stack. So if I had another Bragon in my hand on my turn, I could add that creature to this stack here. I could also, if I wanted to, attempt to steal a clan from another player's kingdom. Now, there's a couple of rules about this. One is that if it's your only clan in your entire kingdom, then I can't try to steal it from you. Another rule is that if I don't have any clans in my kingdom to begin with, I can't start out by just trying to steal one of yours. I have to form one of my own clans first. So in order to steal a clan from another player's kingdom, what I have to do is I have to target a clan that is on the topmost stack of either land type in their kingdom. So I can either attempt, that's my kitty, sorry. I can either attempt to steal from the highlands or the lowlands, but I can only ever target the topmost clan, so the ones that are uncovered. And the way that I'm going to try to steal that clan away from the other player is I'm going to reveal a matching card in my hand of the same type. So if, for example, you had some Cyclopses in your kingdom and they were on the top of your stack, what I could do is reveal from my hand a Cyclops, and I would target your Cyclopses and attempt to steal them. However, if you have a Cyclops in your hand and you'd like to maintain those Cyclops in your own kingdom, you can reveal a card from your hand as well to keep them in your kingdom. And we can go back and forth doing this as many times as one of us would like until one of us decides that we would no longer like to play any cards. When that happens, the player who played the last card takes all the cards that have been played and the clan that we were fighting over. They combine them all and they put them into their kingdom. So if you as the defending player played the final Cyclops card and I said, you know what, I think I'm going to go ahead and stop, or I don't have any more cards I can play. So I would finish, you would take all the cards that had been played, all the ones you played, all the ones that I played, you'd add them to your existing Cyclops clan in your kingdom, and that would be the end of that action for me. Now, if I had won, I would take all of the ones that had been played, all the ones that you played, all the ones that I played, and all the ones in your kingdom, and I would take those cards and I would put them into the appropriate land type in my own kingdom. So here they would go into the Highlands. And I would get all those points for the end of the game if I was able to maintain that clan until the end of the game. There are two different kinds of wild cards. First, we have this one here. This one is welcome in any clan. So if you want to steal any clan from another player, you can always use this type of card to do it. However, players can retaliate with either another card of the same clan that you're trying to recruit, or they can do with another wild card. So they could come back at you with another one of these. You'll notice these are worth 20 points. So if this is the only card in your hand that you're attempting to steal a clan with, and they're able to capture it back, then you've essentially just handed away 20 points. There's one other type of wild card, and that's these Spydra cards. They're worth 40 points at the end of the game. However, they count as 2 creatures when you are using them to recruit or defend. So if I come at you, I'm attempting to take your Cyclopses, and I do that with a Spydra, then you have to be able to produce 2 Cyclopses to prevent me from taking your clan. Okay, so as I said, on your turn, you can attempt to form a clan by placing 2 cards face up on the matching land type. You can add a matching creature to an existing clan on the top of one of your stacks. You can attempt to recruit another player's clan to your own kingdom. And then there are 2 other things that you can do. The first is that you can employ the services of a free creature. So that is the creatures that don't have a point value, but do have some kind of an ability. And when you do that, you simply play the card, resolve its effect, and then discard it to a pile specifically for that type of card. And then the last thing that you could possibly do on your turn is to discard 1 card and then draw another card. So that is everything you can do on your turn. You're going to take, like I said, 1 action that you must take. You must always take 1 action, even if it is to simply discard a card and then draw 1. But you can take up to 2 actions if you want. It can be the same action or 2 different ones. And when you have finished your turn, you'll draw back up so that you have 6 cards in hand. And then you'll pass the player marker to the next player in turn order, and it becomes their turn. And what's going to happen is through the course of the game, we will add stacks of cards to the players' kingdoms, and we will increase the value of some of the clans by adding creatures to those clans. We will attempt to recruit those clans away from other players' kingdoms to keep them for ourselves. We'll use those free agents to try to manipulate things to our advantage. And we're just going to continue to play turns back and forth until this deck of cards runs out, and then we're all going to play out our hands until we can no longer play any cards, and then the game ends. Once the game has ended, we'll add up all of the points shown on these gem symbols here on the cards, and whoever has the most points wins. And that's Cover Your Kingdom. Now, like I said during the setup process, there are a couple different ways that you can increase or decrease the complexity of this game. One of them is, like I said, that while during setup you can play on the reverse side of the player mats, and that's going to have all of these different symbols here at the top. That's one of the ways that you can increase the complexity of the game. The other is, I also mentioned during setup that you can use the individual player abilities on the back sides of the player aids. And then there are also ways for you to shorten or lengthen the game based on your preferences. So if you wanted to have a shorter match, you could do that. If you wanted to have a longer match, you could do that too. All of those variations are included in the rule book, and I am not going to discuss them in today's video, but maybe you'll see something about that on future videos on this channel. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention is that on your turn, if you'd like to form a new clan with the creature that's on the top card of the creature discard pile, you can do that. So, for example, I have a Pigsy in my hand. I can take the Pigsy that's on the top of this discard pile here and add it to this one to form a new clan. And then, because the Pixies can go in either of the land types, I can place that, I think I'm going to place it here over my Braggin, just so that they're a little protected. Thanks so much for watching. This has been an overview of how to play Cover Your Kingdom from Grandpa Beck's Games.